with Diva. Hello, everyone. So glad you could join me today for, another exciting episode. I love doing Brunch with Diva because I love getting to see all of the people that, I get to introduce you guys to. So, such an awesome thing. I love it. I love it. I love it. Hello, Erin. How are you? Thanks for joining. Hello, everyone. Hello. Let's come on in and see how you guys are doing today. What's going on with you guys? Hey, hi, Trish. What's going on? What's going on? You guys, I tell you, hello, niece. Hey, Morgan. Thanks for joining. Oh my goodness. So, as I was saying, I'm always excited to introduce you guys to different resellers or non-resellers. Oh, yes, girl. So, hello, Tina. Thanks for joining. So, with all that being said, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and bring on my guest for today because, it's all about her, not about me. You ate healthy breakfast and meditated. Yes, I love it. I love it. I am so proud of everyone who is in the A Healthy You group. You guys have been smashing it. I am totally rooting for you. I am so proud of each and every one of you. You guys are doing an amazing job. So stay tuned because we're going to have a little contest before the first of the month and we're going to see, how it goes. So stay tuned. I'll just be announcing that later for all of you who are interested in joining a Healthy You group. It's right here on Instagram. It's free. It's just an amazing group so far. I just love everyone in there. But if you're interested in joining, it's about weight loss, self-care, mental health. So now if you're interested in joining, DM me. I'll get you started. You're just not going to ever be alone in this whole thing because weight loss is hard, and it makes it easier when you have people to talk to share ideas with, to vent to, and things of that nature. So if you're interested, just DM me. So I'm going to go ahead and bring her on. And hello, Brittany. Thanks for joining. Oh my goodness. Hello. I was like, let me pull my camera down. I couldn't even see.
Back mine up a little bit too. I feel like it's all up in my personal space.
Right. Because I was just like, oh, wait, you can only see here. So let me pull it down a little bit. Well, welcome to Brunch with Diva.
I am so glad to be here. I've been excited. As you know, something happened with the calendar, and I thought it was on Monday. And Monday, I was like, I'm going to be interviewed by Rhonda. And then I was like, I'm not going to.
And I went on there, and I was like, why does it say Monday? But everything else said Wednesday behind you.
But I'm just so glad that we finally got it figured out, and I get to be here with you today.
Exactly, and I'm happy to have you here. Well, let's just kick it on off with my usual question. How did you come up with your IG name?
Thankfully, my ex-husband. um, Girl, I used to have a horrible last name. Not that it was horrible, it was just difficult to get other people to know my last name. I'm of German descent as well as American Indian Irish. And my last name used to be Von Hagel. Luckily, I got married to my ex-husband, who was Jules. And so when I got rid of him, I kept the last name because, of course, I had children with him. And then we made it Jules and then Jules because we had gems that we wanted to give to the world. So Jules.
Oh, well, that's nice. I kind of like it though. That's a cute little story.
Yeah, it'll be forever my last name. It ain't his no more. He lost the rights to it after we got divorced. So.
Right. That's what happens. So, tell us a little bit about how you got started reselling and how long you've been reselling and things like that. Tell us a little bit, give us a little backstory.
So I actually got reselling because most of you already know I have a severe Christmas addiction. I am sitting in the Christmas room right now. That is in my house.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's in my house 365 days of the year. It got so bad that I love to shop. I don't care if it's a dollar store. I don't care if it's thrift stores. I'm not a big name brand person, so I was always at the thrift stores, dollar stores, stuff like that. And anything Christmas, I ran out of space for it. So I pay every month for a storage unit to house anything that doesn't fit in my Christmas room.
Oh
Like,
my
and I
gosh.
have half my stuff at my boyfriend's house in North Carolina. Like, so I love Christmas so much.
So you have a lot of things. That's what you're telling us.
I have more than any one person should have in their possession, Christmas wise. And so my boyfriend is not a shopper at all, but he's like, do whatever you want to do, whatever makes you happy. I'm like, all right. And so eventually he said, you know, babe, you have way too much Christmas. What are you going to do with it all? You already have a storage unit that you're filling up quickly. What are you going to do? So at that point in time, I really had to take an inward look at my addiction. I had to, I admit it. I don't know why. I'll sit in this room and be like, why does it make me so happy? I don't know, but it does. And I'll be beaming ear to ear. It's crazy. But so I looked at all of the stuff that was, especially the stuff in storage, and said, okay, this is too much. So I took a few of my snowman figurines and bundled them up, 20 of them. And then I took a few of my Santa Claus figurines and bundled those as well. And I put them on Facebook Marketplace. And girl, one of those sold. And I was like, what? Somebody wanted my little trinket. Okay. So the next day I got excited. I was like, I could go shopping. Let me try this. So I went to a thrift store right down the way. It was a Miracle Hill. And I picked up this painting, this picture for $5. It was really large. And I listed it. And the next day it sold on Facebook Marketplace for $25. Oh, it was done. The addiction to reselling.
Oh yeah, you had gone down the rabbit hole at this point.
Oh yes. So I can keep thrifting and spending and buying stuff and make money off of it too. Yes, Lisa found her calling. And my son, who is also my partner, one of my sons, I have 4 boys. My third son, Jay, is my partner. And Jay, since the time he was 12, has always said that he wanted to own a McDonald's. And I knew that meant he wanted to be an entrepreneur, not necessarily own a McDonald's. So he was like, Mom, let's do this. So I am the one who does mainly I do a lot of the heavier work because I love the shopping and all that. He does the background stuff and all the accounting and all the other background stuff that I just don't have.
Yeah, behind the scenes type things.
Yep. So May of 2018, we decided to go give it a go and make it happen. And then in August of 2019, I keep doing this wrong. In May of 2019 and August of 2019, we then expanded from just collectibles into clothes on Poshmark. Now, girl, I don't know nothing about no fashion. My highest brand name in my closet is Walmart. Okay. So
Gotcha.
This has been a whole learning experience for me, like name brands and stuff. I'm still learning. People are like, you didn't know that was a good name brand? They all just closed to me. I've never been.
Right.
So it's still such a learning experience for me. But yeah, so we've now been doing it since 2019. And I'm just really excited to see what this next year holds for us, for our business. And so, yeah, that's how we got started.
Well, that's great. I mean, I love hearing how people get started, and the other thing that I like, of course, I love this whole Christmas room idea, because then that just makes me think, oh, well, maybe I need a little, like I have a lot, but because I always try to buy stuff new all the time, for Christmas. Oh, it's Christmas. Now you got to get new decorations, got to get new colors, you got to get new themes and all that.
Yep.
But which I used like only this much of anything this year. So
because I had the Christmas room, I really didn't have to do anything this year because I was so busy with it came at the time that I was trying to transition from my corporate job. And while I was leaving a job of 13 years, I still love the people I work with. So I worked extra hard that last month once I got told I was leaving to make sure they were going to be good. I wanted them to be able to not have to be like, where Lisa dropped that ball at. So I had to pick up any balls I dropped corporate-wise. So I didn't have time to do anything. But I was like, well, thank God I got a Christmas room. It's already moved.
Yes, because he just come in there and have Christmas. I mean, is that what now that just stays decorated all the time?
It is 95% Christmas all year long and 5% Alice in Wonderland. That's my other obsession, but only 5% goes to Alice.
Oh my, Alice in Wonderland.
Yes.
I didn't know about Alice in Wonderland. So this is a fun fact.
Yes.
I am anything about
fantasy, make believe. I live in my own little bubble where you got the unicorns and the rainbows and the. I don't like to step outside my bubble. I ain't even gonna lie. I do every now and then I'm like, I'm gonna crawl right back in that bubble because it's so pretty in there. It's just happy and joyous and surrounded by Alice and
Right.
Christmas.
Well, I tell you, a few people on here are sharing that idea about name brands. And I think, well, I mean, I knew a lot about name brands, but now, of course, I definitely knew about old school brands. But, you know,
Yeah.
and I know about the more prominent brands. But now, I'm telling you, I had never even heard of what is that more popular? Not anthropology. Is it anthropology? No, I heard of them. It's another one, but I just had never heard of them. And not only that, maybe it is anthropology because they have like a gazillion other
Yes.
names up under them.
Yes.
And I was like, what? Because in my mind, I'm thinking, you know, like Gucci is Gucci, Versace is Versace. You know,
Done.
anthropology has, yeah, anthropology has anthropology, blah 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 blah.
That's why I go
So
through because I'm so unfamiliar with them. Even though I've been doing it a year and a half, there's still so much more that I learn every single day. And that's why I try to, things got a little off course again last month, but I'm trying to get back to my regular schedule on how I structure my posts and all. But that's why I try to share every week something, teaching something about brands and all. Because as I'm learning it, I'm like, I'm not the only one that is clueless in this world and trying to make it. So I want to share as much information with the whole reselling community for people who are,
mhm.
especially those starting out or unfamiliar like myself. That's
Right.
what.
And even though I only sell, you know, plus sizes, I mean, I still like to know about other, you know, some other brands catch my eye sometimes,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm like, oh, I might never have heard of that. So I go ahead and I look it up and research it and see, you know, or one of my friends or, you know, they'll come up with something and I'll be like, oh, okay, well, I never heard of that. Or they'll ask someone to, you know, can you run the comps on this? Morgan does that. And she
Yeah.
asked about a boot one day, and I had never heard of it. So here I go looking it up, and I was like, oh,
Didn't even know. I did
didn't
that.
know. And the price point, I was like, that's a good one.
Yeah. I did that with a pair of Mista boots. I bought them for $8 and I was like, I don't know. I ended up selling them for 110. And
Yes,
I would have
because you
never.
never know when you find those deals like that. Like you say, I don't know how much she paid for those, or you know, but I mean, they're between $300 and $500 on their site.
It's a
Oh, and I'm just like, get out of here. So sometimes I get interested in other things just to kind of break up the monotony of plus sizes. But okay,
yeah.
so a big thing happened to you in January.
Yes.
So tell us what happened and tell us how you're feeling about that right now.
So on December 1st, I well, at the end of November, I got an invite from my boss saying annual review. And I was like, okay, we're going to do this during the Zoom meeting. We've done this for the last 13 years. Sure. Well, when the HR person was on there December 1st, I was like, oh, this is more than an annual review. It's going down. So
Mm,
I was in commercial property management. So I've managed commercial buildings for 13 years for this company. And so with the pandemic, as well as the largest client that I managed for was moving away from our company altogether, I knew that there was a good chance that I thought I'd be furloughed. So I was already making boss moves in the background to prepare myself just in case, because I saw the writing on
right,
the wall.
right.
I thought it'd be a furlough and not a layoff. But when they told me, I was like, praise Jesus. Because I literally prayed about it the week before, girl. I prayed about it and I was like, God, I give it to you. I feel like we get comfortable in our positions in life. And when it's your time, you're going to push me out of my comfort zone. Didn't know he had plans to push me out that quickly. Like, he didn't even let me get the
Right.
parachute on yet. He said, you going. I said, okay. So
You're going. You're out of here.
I had no choice. So I was told that I was being laid off and I had a month. And I was ecstatic. I literally had not one negative emotion attached to it. I didn't. My best friend of 30 years was freaking out. She calls me Lee. Lee, you're so calm about it. I'm more upset than you. I'm like, I'm not upset at all. Like, this is what God has planned for me. I trust the next steps of my life. This is where I wanted to go a year from now. So now I get to do it sooner. Okay. So I was all excited. I will say that these first 2 weeks have been more trying than I thought they would be.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
I thought, okay, that first Monday, I'm going to hit, this going to be my schedule. I'm going to hit that ground running. Ain't been nothing. It has been a hot mess. It's been a small dumpster fire in Jules land over here. One, because I have a lot going on. I don't want to use, I had major car repairs for $1,500 that I didn't want to use my severance pay or my savings. So I'm picking up extra jobs to compensate for that. So I'm trying to fit that in between trying to figure out a new schedule for listing and relisting and everything and sales and everything. And then I got sick, and that took me out for 5 days. I mean, and that's something that happens because my immune system, it happens like every 2 to 3 months. It's the same thing, and it usually lasts about 2 days, but this time it lasted longer. I think because I was still trying to work those extended hours and not taking the time to rest. And finally, come Saturday, I was like, I'm done. I'm laying down.
Right.
But so it's been interesting.
So since you're now in that mind frame, or getting accustomed to that mind frame of a day-to-day being a full-time reseller, so kind of how do you break all this up throughout the day? Have you set a schedule? Have you you just take it as it comes?
I'm trying to set a schedule. I'm hoping to have it in place next week. It just has not worked out for the last 2 weeks, but I am working down. I'm going to sit down and pen one out, and I'm going to try to religiously stick to it, because I'm a driver personality. So I like things to be on a list and be able to cross it off. So if I set it up daily and get my list, I'm going to set up tonight, my list for tomorrow, and be able to go through and cross, because I am picking up jobs on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I can't list the way that I want and relist those days. So I've got to figure out how to do, and then in between. And so just trying to figure out the balance of it all. That's what I think I'm really finding out, is the balance is not as easy as I thought it would be.
Yes.
But I'm gonna get it.
Sometimes you just can't set that in stone, because life does happen.
Yes.
And that was me this past weekend, because I had some things I wanted to do. Now I did get some of them done, but I had to do a lot of things from bed, because it was time. I just had to slow down.
Yeah.
So, sometimes everything can't be set in stone, but, having a good little, idea what you're going to do throughout the day. Now, if I'm dedicated that week, I say, I can go ahead and outline everything that I need to do, from posts to taking pictures to comps to listing and all of that.
Yeah.
And it flows, fairly easy. But, then you have those days where you're like, this list. So what I'm not going to do today is because you're just not at that mindset that day.
Yes.
So I love having a schedule, but I make it flexible enough to where I can say, okay, well, I might not do that today. I may do that tomorrow, and I'm going to do tomorrow's thing today.
Yeah.
Because you just never know.
I think I'd have a little more sure footing if it hadn't been for the being sick for 5 days. Had that not occurred, then I think I would feel a little further along. But I'm stubborn, and I don't know the word defeat or give up. Those are not words in my vocabulary.
I love it.
So we will make it work. I mean, because this is only step one of, there's several steps in our business plan, and this is just one. Our goal is, while I love reselling, it's not passive income. And no. And I know from those 5 days of being sick, because it was reflective in my sales. I still had sales, just not as consistent as previously. So my goal, and hey, Michelle, my goal overall is to create some passive income and also generational wealth with my family. So it's my sister and my 4 sons and 2 daughters-in-law. So that is the ultimate goal.
Well, while we're on the subject of platforms, how many platforms are you selling on? 9. Who, Chad? I just got an instant headache right then. I'm like, look, I barely be managing 2. Well, actually one, because Poshmark is Bay.
Yeah.
Poshmark for me is Bay because that's where I started. That's where I still am, and that's what shows me the love. And unfortunately, Poshmark is thirsty, honey. But sometimes I don't mind because what? I'm hungry. So,
Girl, I know.
so I don't mind, giving that time to Poshmark. But I tell you that I noticed a difference when I kind of slacked back, you know, and wasn't showing Poshmark all that ooey gooey love. And I could tell, in my sales. But once I started showing that ooey gooey love to Poshmark, Poshmark was like, okay, here you go, here you go, here you go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, thank you, thank you, thank you.
We
But
friends.
yeah, I'm just like, yeah, well, keep it coming, Poshy, keep it coming, Poshy. That's a nickname, Poshy.
Real quick, I do see that Mitch Tone One wanted to know the
Oh
platforms that
yes,
I
wants you to
sell on.
name your. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so of course Poshmark, Macari, eBay. eBay is my bay. That's where my focus for 2021 is. And then Facebook Marketplace and OfferUp. I actually had 3 sales in the last week and a half from Facebook Marketplace, 1 on OfferUp. So those. Kidizen, I haven't had any sales there, but I still, because I don't have a lot of kids stuff, but I have my kids stuff on there. Tradesy, I've only had 1 sale to date on there. I'm hoping that'll start picking up a little bit for me. Relux, I need to pay a little more attention to that. And then and Etsy. Etsy has been really good to me. Like I just started it a month and a half ago and I've had 16 sales, and I'm like, for just starting out on it, I'm like, okay, you showing up. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
So that's 9 of
Come
them.
on, hello, whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you that, the Thrifty Redhead said, yes, reselling is the first door to bust down. And that is so true because, I don't know how true it is for all resellers, but, it gives us opportunity to build upon other things that aren't, always resale related. But, we're still resellers. But, we just, want to move past that and do something different.
Yeah. I mean, I'll always do it because obviously we see that I do have a Christmas addiction, and half the stuff I thrift, because even though I want to, in 2021, I want to shift more to having more of a focus on fashion. I still got to go thrift my collectibles and my Christmas stuff. I sell this Christmas stuff now, but I enjoy it till it finds a new home. I sold 4 Christmas items just in the last week since Christmas, week or two. So
isn't that wild? Isn't that crazy? Well, you know what? There are people out there who shop for Christmas all year round. I have a friend who does that. Shops anytime. When she sees it, she's like, oh, got it. Christmas, Christmas. I'm just like, oh my God. Girl, I'm here in November talking about I ain't started yet. Because that is just me. Tina says, yes, I just had that conversation about passive income with my children. That's good. You know what? And that's my thing for 2021. I definitely want that passive income. I mean, I'm working, behind the scenes, and I've been doing a lot of behind the scenes work because I want to create that passive income. I want to make money while I sleep. If I'm outside doing something, I want to, oh, cha-ching, cha-ching, I want to hear that. So I think that that's awesome.
Yeah.
Poshy. I know, isn't it cute, Brittany?
Yeah.
Poshy. Let's see. I have to show Poshmark so much love. Iris, yes, you have to show Poshmark so much love. But when we show Poshmark love, Poshmark in turn shows us love as well by those sales.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite platform beside eBay?
Right now, probably Etsy because of the way it's coming through. I mean, I would really say that. I mean, I love Poshmark and all, but Etsy's fees a lot less. So I like that. And I guess I like Facebook Marketplace and OfferUp. However, because of the fact that I use Vendu and I can't cross list there yet, they're eventually going to work to get it to where I can. Once I can, I'll be, because it takes longer. I have to then list everything through Vendu, and then I have to go separately list. And then I don't have the delist when it's sold as easily. I got to remember to go do it. So, but so I don't use that as much, but those are probably Etsy, Facebook Marketplace, because Facebook Marketplace, if they want to meet, I ain't got to pay no fee. Okay. I got to ship or pay a fee.
Well, that is true, but honey, with the Rona out there, I'm not trying to meet nobody.
No, well, I leave things on the porch, and so they come and they get it from the porch.
I don't even have that option because, I'm in an apartment. So I don't have that. I don't have that option to do that. But I gave it a little shot over the holidays. I don't know. I wasn't really crazy. I mean, I didn't have anything outstanding. But with that being said, I have sold on Facebook Marketplace when I could go meet people because I
Yeah.
had like a slew of boots at one point. And I ended up selling all of them on Facebook Marketplace. Now I can't find what I want on Facebook Marketplace.
Girl, my sister is a pro at it. I really think she needs to start a show where she has gone in and she'll find like name brand furniture and all, and then find replicas on Facebook Marketplace that look just as good. And she'll redo an entire, she should have an interior design place or show from
What?
Facebook Marketplace. She amazing.
I'm gonna tell you, I was just looking for a simple shelf, a simple what do you call it, TV stand. That's all I wanted, just something really simple. I mean, I put it in. I'm like, well, what else do I have to put in to find just a black TV stand? It showed me dressers. It showed me the nightstands. It showed me everything, and then maybe one little measly TV stand. I'm like, you're kidding. I know there's more TV stands on here than this. So I was just like, I guess I'm just not putting in the keywords correctly. But what else can you say beside black TV stand?
I bet you with me it would be like, didn't you mean to say Christmas or Santa? Did you mistake that?
Probably. I mean, it's just so crazy. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna let you have it, Marketplace. I'm just gonna leave you alone. I'm gonna leave you alone because it just frustrated me so. So now that we've talked about your favorite platform, I actually want to know a bit more about Lisa and what Lisa's goals are.
My goals
And
are
what,
pretty lofty. I have one, unfortunately, that's going to take about a year that I can't share until, but as soon as I can, yeah, it's got a lot. We're looking for some investors. We're looking to do something big, and
oh,
it should,
investors are involved.
yeah, and it should change the reselling community, like for real, like
What?
yes. So we're working on some things again. Me and my sons, and my sister, we're all together. So our first goal. I can't wait. Like that's the only thing I can say. I did so much
Well, this is where you come to spill the tea at, Lisa.
I only could sprinkle a few of the leaves. I couldn't open the whole.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess we'll take what we can get, girl.
Yeah, it's something that came out of my brain, and it just hit me one day. And I called my son, and he's like, "Mom, that is amazing." And I was like, "I know."
Oh my God. Don't you like when that happens? I love when that happens, when you just have an idea
Yeah.
and it just hits you, and then you just kind of for me, I just kind of keep thinking about it, thinking about it, thinking about it. And then I'm like, okay, I'm just going to do it.
It can't happen soon enough because I'm hoping that I can do it sooner and I can do it in 6 months, but I'm thinking it's going to take about a year. But on top of that, we plan to use our profits from going full time because we had a great year when we were doing it part time. So
Right.
we know that, once I get into my rhythm, hopefully later this week, I'll be able to definitely hit our goals for this coming year. And we're hoping that we're going to have a family meeting at the end of this month and figure out who's going to handle what within our own businesses, because we're going to have different branches, but we want to use the profits to invest in our first house to flip. And then we want to then use those profits to continue flipping. Eventually, we want to branch off into some investment properties to have rentals. So we have that passive income.
Yeah.
Back in the day, about when I was married to my younger sons, I'll explain that later, but my younger son's father, Jules, when I was married to him, we had a company. And at that point in time, we couldn't get it off the ground because we were struggling. We didn't have any money to invest. We were just trying to make ends meet back then. With 4 sons, it wasn't possible to invest in the company then the way that we wanted to. But my sons, who are now adults, saw the value and they want to resurrect that. And they want to run with that. They also have something else. So we want to be branching out on several and be like, okay, this is all our family. We're creating generational wealth. You are going to be over this part. Of course, I'm going to be over the shopping because that's
right. Right, you got the shopping.
I will eventually, I'll get one of my daughters-in-laws to be a part of listing because that's, we don't like to list, but I could shop all day. Like I just bought a figurine for $2.50 this weekend and already sold it that night when I listed it for $61. Like, let me shop. Just let me do
Right,
it.
right.
So
Let you get your shop on, and somebody else can do all that typing in and writing that.
yes. And so my sister's got such an amazing brain. She's like so smart. So it's just figuring out who's going to handle what area and get them to go and say, okay, let's go start putting down on paper. What are your first steps? What do you need to first hit by when? Putting some deadlines and some goals in place because like in 10 years, we want to own a retail shop, a small one, but
Okay.
and move up to
Yeah.
commercial property because that's a great way to have some passive income coming in. And as somebody who used to manage commercial properties, I know the potential of it. So
Yes.
that's all going to build up to that. And then of course
Oh
my
my
YouTube
God, that
channel.
sounds amazing.
Yeah, and we're hoping to drop the YouTube channel. We're a little behind, so it might be the beginning of February, but I'm hoping maybe the end of January I can still drop the YouTube channel.
Well, yeah, I know that you were planning on doing that.
Yes.
So I'm excited, to subscribe to that. But I am just, so now, is there any other little tidbits we can tell about the other?
I wish.
Well, I had to try,
Seriously,
Lisa.
it's going to be a game changer for the reselling community. It's going to be a game changer for my family. It's literally I've got my son because I'm not trying to get too many investors because I ain't trying to give away my family's portion. So I actually called my partner, who is currently the most active partner right now, my son Jay, yesterday, and I was like, I need you to go look for all grants. My sons are Haitian, and I was like, you need to go look for grants for Haitian business owners. I'm of American Indian descent from Sioux, the Rosebud Sioux Reservation in South Dakota. I was like, look for American Indian, women owned, minority owned, any type of grant you can give
Right,
us.
right, right. And
Yeah.
I was just talking to this, I was just talking about grants, of course, with my daughter, not like the other day. And I was like, I'm getting ready to, drop a proposal. And, so, that's kind of something I've been kind of, mulling over. So now I'm ready to do it.
Yes.
So, what comes after that, we'll see. But right now I'm going to start here and see what happens.
Yeah,
Because there's just so many grants out there
yeah.
for a variety of people. Grants you didn't even think there were grants.
Yes. So I tasked him with that because again, he does all the background work that he does what mama doesn't want to do, and he doesn't mind
Right.
because he has a very flexible job that allows him to go and do this in between doing his real job. So I'm like, you go do that. I'm gonna go keep this part afloat. And
Right.
so I love
And
it.
that's awesome because my daughter, she comes up with all these things to say, all these things, well, you should do this, or she's sending me something, or you should join this and this group, and over here and they have this, that. She's so informative. Hold on, let's see. We have a question.
Them.
Okay, Pasha's My Purpose asks, Lisa, how old are all your children?
Okay, so that's an interesting situation. I am 45. My
Mm-hmm.
oldest son is, I have to calculate this. He's 33, and I'll explain that in a minute. My second oldest son is 31, and then my one's about to be 23 in this month, and then my baby's about to be 21. So that is one of the interesting facts, because you had said something about we were going to talk about an interesting fact. My interesting fact is that my two oldest sons are not mine by birth. I actually took them. They're my ex-husband's family. So not only did I keep the last name, I kept
The kids too.
and got rid of them.
That's awesome. Now you just couldn't make that up. I got rid of him, but I kept the kids.
I did. So we took them when my oldest is JJ, and he's 33. He just turned 33 4 days ago on the 9th. And he's actually my ex-husband's brother. And so he was 12 years old and called me and said, can I come live with you? And I was like, let's do it. Moved in with me immediately. Then about a year and a half, almost 2 years later, my ex-husband's and my oldest son's birth mother had custody of her grandkids. And I always loved his name is Jesnay. That's what he was born as, but I call him DJ. So I was always drawn to him. We lived in the ghetto of South Florida, and when we decided to move to South Carolina, I was like, I can't leave him there. Like, I knew he would get lost to the streets, and I was like, there's no way I can leave this boy there. So I fought my mother-in-law and my husband to get custody of him. When he was 12, he then moved up here with us. And so we then had all 4 boys. So JJ, DJ, which is their nephew, and then my sons. So we have 4 boys. So yeah, but they all call each other brothers. The oldest is the uncle, then the cousins, but they all call each other brothers. They are brothers. They are my sons. They don't look at, and they're so much like me. It's crazy. It is crazy to see. I did not birth my oldest 2, but let me tell you, they have my traits. I'm like, those are my boys.
Let me tell you, I'm adopted. So my dad used to say, well, when you keep feeding them, they start looking like you.
But girl, I got to tell you, so, my children are Black, they're Haitian.
Right.
And the 2 oldest are full Black because I didn't birth them. And so I remember taking DJ when he was in high school. I was a very involved parent. I went to all their sporting events. I was the team mom for most of their sporting events. And I remember going to meet somebody, one of DJ's football games, and the kid said, oh, I can see that y'all look alike. And we were like,
right?
Okay. He's nothing like me, but except he's short. That's it.
Well, I tell you, I mean, it happens. It definitely happens, because people would say I look like my dad all the time. Well, the strange thing is, when I look at pictures, I think I do look like him. But again, he says, well, you keep feeding them, they'll start looking like you. So I was like, well, let's go with that.
I love it. And I wouldn't change anything because, I became a single mom of 4 boys in 2006. So my sons were 17, 15, 7, and 5. And it was a struggle for a while, because at that point in time, I was only a waitress. And not only, but that's all I was doing, so that I could work just the weekends and have off the weekday to be with my kids. And so at that point in time, I had to get a full-time job. And for 2.5 years, my oldest sons raised my youngest sons so that I could work 80 hours a week just to keep food on the table, a roof over our heads. And like, they're my rocks. My oldest is my rock. My second oldest DJ, that's my mama's boy. Oh, don't talk nothing about mama. Oh, Lord. I have to tell him, baby, I'm not perfect. Don't put me on a pedestal. He don't listen to me. He don't listen.
Well, I tell you, let me just tell you what I see in this story. This is like a Lifetime or a Hallmark movie. I see it. I see this story. I mean, because this is just a story of love and faith and all that. I mean, oh my God, it's just an amazing story. And I think that you should really share this story.
Yeah, they're everything to me. So they're my interesting fact, and a lot of people, I get that all the time. They're like, your oldest son is how old? And I was like, he's 33. But that's my baby.
And then they're like, and you're 40.
I like to mess with them. Yeah, I was 12 when he was born. Because I was. I didn't say I gave birth to him, but I was 12 when he was born.
Well, I tell you, I'm telling you, this is a story that you should share. And I'm not just saying that to be funny. I'm so for real when I say that, because I think that there are other people out there who have gone through things and experiences similar to yours. But I just think that you could just inspire other people, even if they're at a crossroad and making a decision on something like that, like a family member or a child or anything like that. I think that you sharing your story, I mean, it's amazing.
It was the best thing ever. I get it from my mama, girl. My mama had 4 foster sons and a foster daughter when I was growing up. So I get it from my mom. And my one son, DJ, gets it from me. Like, he just wants to be a coach. He wants to help mold other people. So he gets that from me as well. So it's just something that came from my mom.
And let me just tell you in the comments that Larissa_Griffith says, self-published the book / passive income.
There hey, my girl.
Oh my gosh.
I'll get a little bit of royalty on it once I do it then.
Right. Evolving always say, I love this story filled with love. Aaron says movie equals passive income too. Pasha's my purpose said yes, movie for sure. Larissa, of course, she said I see love. I'm like, I'm telling you, yes, Christy, love is love, honey. I
Yes.
believe that all across the entire board.
Yep.
So I don't, yeah, that's it for me. That's the bottom line for me. Love is love.
I will honestly say I'm attracted to black men first, then Spanish men, but I'm an equal opportunity lover. Like before
Well, I say that about my friendships. I said I'm an equal opportunity friend. I say that all the time.
before my boyfriend that I've been with, he's gonna be my last because he's amazing. Ain't nobody gonna fit in my life the way this man does. He is just
Oh no,
amazing.
because I think you love you some him.
He is he's like we're both selfish stage of life to where we want to do what we want to do, but we want to have somebody that we connect with. And so he wants to play video games all day. You gonna let me go shop and you gonna play video games? Bye. I love you.
Bye.
And I'll let him
I mean, like, what do you need? Some snacks, boo?
Whatever. I got you. There'll be some days if I want to go out and not feel guilty, I'm like, baby, have you played video games today?
Right. Hey, Leslie, thanks for joining. Leslie said, I'm all about that passive income. Yes. Thanks for joining, Leslie. Tris laughing. That's what I'm talking. Wait a minute. Where's my, okay, there it goes. I swear that Instagram is showing me a whole different side of itself today because it's showing up, the comments are showing up so different. And I'm like, what's really going on? Okay. All right, here we go. So look, now you and your, wait a minute, was it the youngest son?
My second
That's your partner.
Jay.
That's the partner.
Yeah. So my first legally born from me.
Okay. Okay, so so I know he does all the behind the scenes and you go shopping. So what in the foreseeable future are any of the other kids going to join in and have specific?
That's why my sister and I talked yesterday because like I mentioned I'm doing another job on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And so as I was commuting yesterday, we were talking and she and my son Jay and I have already talked. And my son got married in June. And at the rehearsal, it's very hard to get all my sons together because two of them work third shift and different weeks off and all this. So it's very difficult. And the other one's in college. So we finally, we finally had everyone together. And I was like, we talking real quick. I mean, we got to break. I know we had a wedding dinner, but we got to go ahead and talk about this real quick. And so we kind of had a breakdown. But my sister and I talked yesterday. And we're going to call a family meeting to figure out those next steps. It's time because now that I'm full-time, I'm ready to do this. I don't have a full-time job holding me back anymore from being able to make these dreams a reality. And after I put my numbers together to look at where I was, I did them this week or last week to look at where I was last year. And once I saw what I was able to do part-time during a pandemic, I was like, oh yeah, we're definitely gonna, so it's time to put that pedal to the metal and get everybody in their right lanes and make sure.
I think that's amazing. I mean, I think that, my ultimate goal, whether it's Poshmark or my other, businesses that I'm actually, growing and working towards, is to actually have my daughter, my granddaughter, be able to run one of them. And, I can stay over here in this lane and do something.
Yep.
And, hold on. And, grow from there, continue to work on this. And they can handle the reselling part of it. I can go ahead and continue my coaching and whatever else I'm going to do. So I think that has always kind of been my ultimate goal, is to have a family business. But, I'm just still working. I'm just still plowing away at it. And, my daughter, I, tried to get her used to sharing, and she shared my closet for a long time. And she was really getting into that. I mean, she has some other ideas that she wants to do, but actually those ideas were actually in both of my businesses. So,
yeah.
So that'll work too.
Like one thing I love, I think you probably know about Tina, what she's done with her children. She made them all start a business. Like,
yeah, yes.
I love.
They are both looking towards something like that to start, a business, because I think that that's where you really learn and you do your research, you learn, and which is what my daughter's doing, just doing her research and things. But you know, my granddaughter, she's 19, she's still a teen, but I'm like, time's a ticking, sister.
Yes.
You
Because
know, but she helps me when she's here. She is my assistant, and she does help me out a lot with, you know, shipping, packaging, inventory, all this, you know, which is a massive job. But
yeah.
speaking of inventory, you started buying some inventory from Quick Lots.
Yes.
So now, how are you liking that? Because you were so excited that first video. I mean,
Yes.
you were just so excited about that box.
I have so much amazing stuff, excuse me, that I need to list. Again, everything's been off because I was so focused on helping my corporate job be set up. So my business kind of suffered at the most time that most were flourishing. Mine kind of suffered because I was focused on that. And then with this first week of being full-time, being sick, I have not had a chance to, but I have so much stuff from Quick Lots that is just an amazing profit. I've had great sales with the stuff that I did get listed, but I have probably about 40 items through them that I just haven't, and it's just sitting here. So my goal by this weekend is to have all my Quick Lot stuff listed and ready to go, because I mean, that's $30 to $50 a profit per item, easy.
Right. Well, for those who don't know what Quick Lots is, go ahead and tell them who they are.
They're a wholesale reseller. Well, what they do, they have several different types of mystery boxes and wholesale boxes. They actually, I'm focused right now on the fashion, but they've got electronics and household items and all. They've got an entire warehouse up in North Carolina, Shelby, North Carolina, I believe it is. But they've got all kinds of reseller boxes. And the thing that I like about it is it's actually resellers that are packing these boxes for other resellers. So I did have the honor to go to the warehouse once and see them do this. And it's crazy the things that they do. Like, whereas most companies, as we saw by how I got involved with Quick Lots, was because I posted that one reseller box that was the scrunchy box, and it broke my heart. And so you could tell people didn't even care. They just threw things in there to meet a quota. I went there one day just to see how they do it, because I was like, I want to be a face for you guys. I want to put you guys out there if you're going to do that, if that's really what you're going to do. And I watched them, and they literally are like, oh, this doesn't meet standards. They've got a washing machine where if it's something that you can't easily get out yourself, they're going to wash it on site before they send it to you. They've got a seamstress.
Like that.
Yeah. They've got a seamstress on site. If there's a button that's loose or there's a hem that needs some fixing, they're going to give it to their seamstress to take care of because they're going to make sure you're going to get the best quality stuff that they can send you. It is resellers packing wholesale boxes for other resellers. And that is why I will continue to stick with them, because the quality of these resellers, they know what we want. They know what they would accept.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I think that that's amazing. I actually did reach out to them, and you know, whenever now at the time they were just a little too pricey for me, because I was like, oh yeah, But you know, again, you know, they've reached out to me, so I mean, you know, see what we can come up with just to give them a try or whatever. Because I loved your box. You know, I thought you had some really good stuff in there.
Yes.
So I'm interested to see what they're gonna do, because they know that I just sell plus sizes.
Yeah.
So you know, they're just you know, hopefully we'll see. You know, we'll see what I come up with.
Contact and see what we can do for you, boo.
Oh, yeah, thank you, boo.
Yeah.
Well, Tia says, do you have an affiliate code?
They are currently in the process, because they just launched this as just recently. They're currently in the process of setting that up. As soon as I have that, I should have that in the next week or two, I will be sharing that. And I did see someone else asked about pricing. Their prices differ depending on boxes. They have different sizes of boxes that you can get. So you can get lower end boxes. They have different type. They have boxes that are for gym days, so for people who want just gym attire. They have what they call slimwear, which is like your Spanx and your Skins and all that. They have cold weather. They have coats. They have high-end. So it's all over, and it all depends on what you're looking for and what you are ready to spend. See, at this point in my business, I'm ready to invest a few more dollars than I was a year and a half ago.
A few more dollars.
Yeah. I wasn't ready to spend
Well,
those a year and a half ago, but now I'm ready to invest in and start just
let me
increasing
go
those
back.
profits.
Okay, so well defined. Who she is talking about, who we're talking about, is Quick Lots.
Yes.
It's a wholesale company ran by resellers.
Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to make sure that I had that right. But she doesn't have an affiliate code yet because they're working on that.
Yes.
But I'm sure if you drop her name, they'll know.
Yes. Oh, 100%. 100%.
They'll and prices. Okay, we cover prices because they do vary. Let me see. Oh yes, Tanya, look that up for your son's electronic business.
Yes, they have
I
a.
didn't even know they sold electronics and home stuff. I had no idea.
That's actually how they started. They didn't really have the fashion set up the way that they do now. And it was a reseller that I know who went in and said, hey, I know how to make this work for everybody involved, for resellers. And just to watch them work, it literally blows my mind just to know that there's other resellers looking out for our best interest. I mean, you're
Yeah.
still going to get a variety depending on your box, but they make sure you get them high ends that are going to pay at least the one item that'll pay for the box. And then
Right.
good, so they're making sure you not only get your investment, but you're going to make a profit too, and it's all good quality.
And see from the quality of that one box, that you did that video, so your first video about the box, I was excited for you.
Yeah.
And I was excited to like check them out because I'm like, girl, look, this is some good tea right here. We
Yes.
need to spread the word about them.
Yes.
But hey, Quimby, thanks for joining. Great to see you. Thank you, everyone who has joined us. Let me go back through here. I don't want to miss anyone. Hello, Brittany. Fupas and Fedoras. Kay, Trish, Nora, Terry. I just reading the comments. Okay. I don't want to miss anyone. Okay, so we're about to come to the end of the end. But before we do that, I just want to ask you, because, I'm like everyone else. I always like to have a good tip for, let's give a couple of tips for reselling and maybe just a couple of tips, just cause.
Okay. So for reselling, especially for newer, and I know that it's very hard. A lot of people look at me because I'm high energy. I'm like, first of all, don't ever compare. That's in life and reselling. Don't ever compare you or your business to anybody else. Number one tip. First of all, I'm the type of person, I don't know how to relax. I don't like to relax. It's very difficult. If I didn't have to sleep, I never would. I think sleep is a waste of time. I know I hurt some people's feelings just now. I'm so sorry. But
I don't think you definitely didn't hurt my feelings about no sleep. But I'm just thinking, child, I wouldn't be able to function.
I wish that God had created us like he did an iPad. Like, just plug me in and let me go with one of those portable chargers.
Yes.
So I constantly have to, like, I warned my boyfriend from day one. I was like, please understand, I don't sit still. If that's a problem, if you need someone who's gonna be able to sit on this couch all day with you, that's not going. He was like, go do you. And I was like, okay, we're gonna work together. We're gonna work well together. So don't ever compare yourself to somebody else. Don't ever compare your business to somebody else, because especially when I had my job, I had a full-time job. Nobody knew how much I made. I was able to then go out and source and shop like the shopaholic that I am. And others would be like, look at your sales. Well, yeah, somebody might have 300 items listed. I have over 1,500 items listed. So of course, I'm going to sell more because I have more listed, but also because of where I am financially, I was able to invest more. So that's one. Never compare yourself to anybody.
Right.
Do what is best for you.
Everybody's financial status is different.
Yes.
And because I have a smaller closet, and I like that because I can control that.
Yeah. Yeah. And some people do what is best for you. Don't try to keep up with the Joneses. I've never been one that kept up. That's why I didn't know name brands. That's why Walmart was my brand. I was cool with that. I don't keep up with the Joneses for nobody. Lisa is who Lisa is, and all her wild hair.
That's what that is.
Self. Another tip is that don't buy things just because they're 49 cents. We go to the thrift store and see that 49-cent day or that dollar day. Half that junk is still sitting in my closet. I'm actually going to purge it now that I'm full-time and I don't have I'm about to purge out a whole bunch of stuff that I bought because I was like, oh, it's 49 cents. Okay. A year and a half later, it's still sitting in my closet. And it go nowhere.
And not just because it's 49 cents, honey, because I learned not to buy everything that I thought was cute.
Yeah.
Because I bought a lot of stuff at first that I thought, oh, this is cute. Oh, this is cute. This is cute, girl. That stuff sat in my closet like, ha ha, how
Yeah.
cute am I now? You know,
It's
am
like,
I still cute?
it says I'm cute on your hanger. Yeah.
And I had to just completely get rid of it.
Yeah.
But that is a lesson that I learned, because just because it's cute to me doesn't mean it's going to be cute to everyone. So you kind of got to mix and mingle that mindset to say, okay, well, it's cute, but,
Yep.
or this is not really cute, but I bet you it'll sell. And 9 times out of 10, it will.
Lately, everybody been saying ugly sells, so I don't know, but that's what a lot of
That's because it's ugly and it's selling. I mean, that's just it.
And then my last reseller tip before my one life tip. So my last reseller tip is, whether you're coming into this as a hobby or a business. Half of us started as a hobby. So even if you're coming into this as a hobby, create an inventory system from day one.
Ooh, yes.
I didn't do that. My inventory system's so easy. When I'm listing, I put everything in a specific bag, and each bag has a A1, bag A1. Everything that goes on A1 at the bottom of my listing, it now says A1. So when I sell it, I just bring up the listing real quick and scroll through. Oh, at the very bottom, it's an A1. Well, I didn't start that until I was about 600 items in. Do you know what it's like trying to get 600 existing items while still listing all your new? So start an inventory from day one, even if it's a hobby, just in case.
Okay, so this is my question. You said bags?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I don't use totes.
What kind of bags are we talking?
I'll have to tag you in them later. They're clothing bags, and I probably fit about anywhere, depending on the size of the pieces. If they're sweaters, probably about 10. If they're not, probably about 20 items in each bag. So we have these handled bags, and I put them on shelves, and I do that mainly because of the fact that it's me. And girl, we getting older.
Girl, I'm gonna tell you, let me just, and with that being said, let me just say that I am in the market for shelves, because when I moved in here, I just I'm like, okay, I got all the stuff in my closet right in the hallway right there, but I got to do this and do this and do this, and it is actually. And now that I think about it, side note, Adrian, I think that's what happened to my arm, because I lifted it so much. I woke up the other morning, my elbow was sore and swollen.
Yes.
And I just thought about it. It's because I lifted those bins like 2 or 3 times that day.
And that's why I love the idea of the bins and the totes, but I have, just knowing, we tend to overstock them somehow, and they get heavy. So these bags, you can only fit like 10 to 20 items, and it just makes it easier for me physically as I'm aging and I'm learning to adapt.
That's a really good idea. I think that once I get shelving, then everything can sit like this. And then if I just have to pull one out, that's fine. Yeah. But when they're stacked on top of each other, you got to move this one and move this one to get to this one. And it's always in the bottom tote. No, I don't care what I'm looking for. So it seems like it's always in the bottom tote.
Every time.
Every single time. So I'm just like, yeah, that's why I need shelves so bad, because I got to get something going. But I tell you, inventory system is so great. I didn't have one at first either. I was just trying to keep it in my mind where this top was, or what this top looked like, or whatever. Bottom drawer of the dresser, just stacking stuff wherever. But one day when I could not find a skirt, I was like, okay, that's it. Yeah. Here I go. I got all the bags, I got all the numbers, and I just sat down and started, creating my SKUs, putting my granddaughter and I, we just put it all together and got it done. But I tell you,
day one.
But the moral of that story is that skirt was at the bottom of the very last bin.
Always. It never fails.
So I think that that those are things that resellers starting out need to know.
Yes.
I use a system, put it in place from the first 5 items you buy, and then go from there.
Yep. And then my piece of advice for life is positive mindset. I know it's so hard, but what we focus on is what comes to us. My mom is unfortunately a very negative person. She will call me all upset because she lost her internet connection or something. And I'll be like, Mom, someone died today. She's like, who? I don't know, but somebody. Like, I will take my burden. I was sick last week, and I will take my burdens. This happens to me every 2 to 3 months. But guess what? I'll take that. Like that compared to what other people are struggling with. I try to keep everything in perspective and keep a positive mindset. And, you know, I know people are like, you live in a bubble, but you know what? So much more positive continues to come to me because that's what I focus on. If you focus on the negative comes to you. If you focus on the positive comes to you.
Yeah, I mean, where your focus is, there is growth. Yeah, and that's just you manifesting.
Yeah,
you know, and being intentional about things. Positivity, correct. I agree, Lizette. Positivity is a must.
Yes.
And you know, in this day and time, it's hard to stay that way, but you must practice that being intentional about being positive.
Yes. Yes.
And let me just real quick, Evolving always said, Lisa, I love your attitude.
Thank you.
Leave me, oh, wait a minute. She said, leave me alone. I'm in my bubble. Lizette.
I live there and I like it.
Right. Let me go back. Tina says, yes, stay as positive as possible. Do your affirmations. And she is the queen of affirmations. I have said that. I said it. It must be true.
Tina, you know, I missed her this morning. It was my first day, and there was a whole reason behind that. But yeah, I'll be there tomorrow, girl. I'll be there tomorrow.
I catch her after the fact because, you know, by the time she gets up, I'm still asleep. I'm just probably turning over or something.
You a night owl. I was like, she was on 3 hours ago.
Shh, don't tell my daughter she on here. Elizabeth, that's not what she meant.
I didn't see that. It was somebody else.
And Erin says, absolutely, Lisa, mindset is so important. Yes, I agree with you all. It is very, very, very important. Well, Lisa, oh my God, I could talk to you forever. Forever. But, you know, we have come to the end of Brunch with Diva. I want to thank everyone for being here. I've taken out time in their day to come and chit chat and things with Lisa and I. Actually, I am going to upload this to my YouTube channel, the Pink Diva Studio. I'm trying to work out some kinks and things with my, you know, internet child, all that behind the scenes stuff, you know, that happens. But I'll definitely post it when I upload it. If you share it, comment, like, all that good stuff that goes along with that. With that being said, also, if I still have room in mind, healthy group. I'm sorry, I'm so thirsty. I think a healthy you group. So you guys, if you guys want to join, just DM me. It's about weight loss, self-care, mental health. It's all about that. We're full of positivity in the group. The members are doing a fantastic job. They've already had losses. And I am so proud of each and every one of them. So if you want to join, just let me know. DM me. Until then, I was going to move the show to YouTube, but I'm going to stay here through January, and then we'll see what February brings. So just stay tuned for that as well. If you're not following Lisa, Jules 1632, make sure that you're following her, like, share it on her posts. I mean, she has fabulous energy, which is why I love her so much, because her vibes are just out of control, and I love it.
I love you too, boo. I love all my gems. You are all my gems. I love you all.
Well, I have to thank you. Let me thank you real quick, because when I asked you to be on the show, you were like, oh, I can't do it right now, but I can do it after the second, and then I'd love to be a part of the Diva Empire. I was like, yes. So that is now my thing. Welcome to the Diva Empire.
I am so grateful to be a part of it.
So I'm putting it out there. I thought I'm manifesting that all across the board, honey. That's just the Diva Empire. That's what all my business are under. I love it. I love it.
You are our queen.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Again, I know I hated for it to end too, Brittany. Oh my God. But you know what? We'll have to do a part 2.
We'll do it. I'm here. And then when I get my show on, when I get mine up, I'm going to be having you on.
Oh, whoop, whoop. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you all on IG. Have a magnificent day your way. Talk to you later.